Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Maddie here from Chill TCG. Now, everybody knows that on the Chill TCG channel, what we like to do is we like to go ahead and highlight decks and players that have been successful in our Chill Series tournaments. Now, and that doesn't always mean our first place finishes. Of course, we did just take a look at Nico's first place finishing Rapid Strike Urshifu deck list, but today I really wanted to take a look at this Darkness Mewtwo build, which was piloted by, I believe his name is Shun Ito. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his name. He is from Japan. Fantastic player, and he was playing this amazing sort of unique way to play Mewtwo and Mew-GX. And on top of that, he did get top 8 at our 450-player Chill Series number 26 tournament. So I definitely wanted to take a look at this list. It's very unique. Definitely really fun to play from what I've played with it. And I definitely just thought it deserved its spotlight. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. This is Darkness Mewtwo. Now, of course, Mewtwo and Mew-GX, it's going to be kind of the cornerstone of the deck. We're going to be able to use the GX attacks of all of these other tag team Pokemon, which are, and GX Pokemon, which are in our discard pile or on our bench. And now, to go ahead and look at the energy acceleration engine, we're running the Hydreigon here. This energy accelerating three-headed dragon, I suppose. This card did come out in Darkness Ablaze, didn't get a whole lot of attention, just because in that same set, things like E-Turn VMAX came out, which doesn't really require a lot of energy to be set up, which is why, Hydreigon never saw a lot of play. But in this list, it's very important to have a lot of energy acceleration and accelerating those darkness energies. So that is, of course, why we're running Hydreigon here. It's very good. It's got Dark Squall. It is a Stage 2 Pokemon, so a little bit clunky to set up, but we are running a 4 Dino, 1 Zweilous, 3 Hydreigon, with on top of that 4 Rare Candy. So we should consistently, hopefully, be able to set up our Hydreigons, but it's got the ability Dark Squall, so as often as you'd like during your turn, you may attach a Dark Energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So it's literally Frostmoth, except it doesn't have to be from your onto your benched Pokemon, which is extremely good. And we can actually power up our active Pokemon as well. I mean, we can attach this energy to any of our Pokemon. It doesn't have to be our Dark type Pokemon, which is extremely important as well. So Hydreigon, very, very good in this deck in particular. That's going to be the way that we're accelerating energy to our Pokemon. Now, of course, like I said with Mewtwo and Mew-GX, we're going to be using the attacks of all of these other different Pokemon, which I will go over real quick here. First up, we have Greninja and Zoroark-GX. Now, this is a very good attack here. For sure. It's got Dark Pulse here for 2 energies there, 30 damage. Does 30 more damage times the amount of darkness energy attached to all of our Pokemon. So if we just get a bunch of dark energies on board, if we're able to kind of survive a few hits from a lot of our Pokemon and just maintain our board state for a few turns, we could be hitting a lot of damage for this Dark Pulse attack. It's a really good option as an attacker here in this deck. It's got Dark Union GX as well, which isn't a GX attack that we're typically going to be using in the deck, but you put any combination of Dark type GX Pokemon and EX Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, and if it has at least 1 extra energy attached to it, so 3 energies, you get to put 2 energy cards from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. Can be good in some scenarios, but not typically something that we're going to be using as a GX attack. Next up, we do have Hoopa-GX. This is going to be good as kind of a setup card, as well as just a good attacking option if it comes down to it. Rogue Ring is a really good option here. Just for 1 energy, search your deck for up to 2 cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So pretty much like a beat catch, but it's a dark type one, I guess. A Rogue Ring. Next up, we have Dark Strike 160 for 3 energy. Then you can't use the attack during your next turn. And then we have Devilish Hands GX. So you choose one of your opponent's GX or EX Pokemon 6 times, and you get to put for each time you chose a Pokemon, you get to put 30 damage onto it. So pretty much you get to spread 180 damage across your opponent's board. Can be really good for 3 dark energies for sure. Definitely a really, really good option. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. There's a lot of different attacking options we have with this deck, and it has the capability to do a lot of different things, which is why I think this deck has a big advantage sometimes if it's able to get set up. Next up, we have Mega Sableye and Tyranitar-GX tag team. This one is super cool. One of my favorites. Big heavy hitter, 200 HP on this guy. Retreat cost of 4, and its attack costs are 5 each. Greedy Crush, though, is really cool. So you do 210 damage, but if you knock out a Pokemon GX or EX, you take 1 extra prize card. So it can be really good to finish off, those Dedennes on the bench to take 3 prize cards with, or just finish off a tag team Pokemon to take 4 prize cards. Extremely powerful, but of course does take 5 energies to use that attack. Then Gigafall GX is a really good option as well. For 5 energies, we can do 250. If we have 10 energies onto this thing, we discard the top 15 cards of our opponent's deck. That's typically never going to happen, especially right now in the format. 280 HP is just not that good. But it's an option. But the 250 for 5 energy is actually pretty viable. A lot of times can make the difference. Next up, we've got the Umbreon and Darkrai-GX. tag team here. So we're mainly running this thing for Black Lance and the Dark Moon-GX. Well, I mean, those are the only reasons we'd run the card, but both of these are actually really good options. So for 3 energy, we can do 150, but we do 60 to one of our opponent's bench GX or EX Pokemon. So actually pretty much this almost the same exact attack as Inteleon VMAX, except, just a little bit different. But for 3 energies, an extremely good option. Spreading damage can a lot of times be the difference, especially if we're playing against an ADP and they're kind of keeping their ADP down on their bench. We can hit that thing for 60 and then set it up for a KO next turn with our Greedy Crush attack. Dark Mew-GX is also really good. So our opponent cannot play any traded cards from their hand during their next turn. And if this Pokemon has 5 extra energy, so if we have 6 energies on our attacker or Mewtwo, per se, whatever Pokemon we're attacking is knocked out. It disregards all damage. So it's just a guaranteed KO for 6 energies. Extremely powerful as well. Going to be good against those tag team decks that we cannot one-shot very easily. Or not tag team, sorry, VMAX decks. And then, of course, on top of that, we are actually running an Espeon and Deoxys, because if you'll notice, we do have 2 Aurora energies in here. The 2 Aurora energies are going to be, used so that we can utilize either the Miraculous Duo attack here, which is really good as well. But this Espeon and Deoxys GX attack is phenomenal. Psychic Club is not something we're really going to be able to do. It does 10 damage plus 30 more for each of our benched Psychic Pokemon. So at the most, we're going to be able to hit for 70 for 3 with this card. Definitely not very viable, but that Cross Division GX is insane. So for a Psychic and 2 colorless, you put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way that you would like, but if you have 3 extra energies attached to it, so 6 energies in total with the Aurora, you put 20 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon instead, which is insane. That is absolutely insane. Going to be really good in those single prize archetypes, specifically things like Spiritomb, but also just at the end of the game, right? If we have a lot of Pokemon on our opponent's board, which just have a few damage counters left until they need to get knocked out, we can spread 20 and just easily take 6 prize cards in one turn. Definitely one of my favorite attacks in this entire deck. Not that hard to set up. Getting 6 energies on a Mewtwo with an Aurora included is actually not that difficult in this list at all. So definitely an incredibly good option here, and one of my favorite attacks to be using in this deck. We do have 2 Crobats, 2 Dedennes for some draw support. We do have a Mew because all of those Urshifus running around, and even Pikaroms, Cramorants, just a lot of things that like to snipe the bench. So that's why we're running a Mew in the list. And on top of that, into the trader cards, we have plenty of Pokemon Search. We have 3 Cherish Balls, 3 Pokecoms, 4 Quick Balls. So that's a lot of Pokemon Search, but we have a lot of different Pokemon and a lot of Pokemon that we rely on in the deck. So that's the reason why we're running so much Pokemon Search. Jeez, excuse me, my bad. We are running 2 energy retrieval. We have 2 Aurora and 10 dark energies, but 10 dark, a lot of times, like if we're setting up a second Mewtwo when you want to get like 6 or more energies onto it, the energy retrieval is actually going to be really good because it also puts it directly into our hand, which works perfectly with the, the Dark Squall ability here from Hydreigon. So that's the reason why we're running 2 E retrievals. Very good in the deck for sure. The 4 rare candies, like I said, so we can get into our Hydreigon. We have 2 Viridian's Forest, again, so we can search out those dark energies. Very, very much useful in the list. Probably the best stadium that we could be running, in my opinion. And then we have 3 Boss's Orders and 4 Research. That's the only supporters in the deck. Kind of all you need here with the 2 Dedennes, 2 Crobat. 4 Research is more than enough. And then, of course, for tool cards, we have 2 Air Balloon. Give pretty much everything in here free retreat. We try not to bench this Sableye and Tyranitar just because it has such a high retreat cost, but everything else, excluding maybe this Hoopa-GX, has a retreat cost of at least 2. Hydreigon doesn't, so we got to keep that in mind as well. But 1 big charm, just of course to give our Mewtwo some extra HP, get it out of range of getting Zacian KO'd or E-turn KO'd, so that's always going to be important. I think 2 big charm is definitely really good in the deck, and then like I said earlier, 2 Aurora energies and 10 dark energies. So that's the list. Kind of a long explanation, I apologize, but for people who are a little bit new to the game or people that aren't familiar with this list, I wanted to at least go through it and give you some idea. Now, Shun Ito seemed to be an absolutely amazing player to get top 8 at the tournament with this list. It does have its issues. Of course, relying on a Stage 2 Pokemon to, of course, be your energy acceleration engine can be a little bit clunky. But if you are able to get that Hydreigon out early in the game, you're definitely going to be rolling, and this deck has a lot of potential and a lot of different attacking options as well, which I think gives it the benefit. So we're going to get into some games. We're going to play the deck. We're going to see if we can do something cool with it. I'm probably going to play it terribly. I never play Mewtwo decks, ever. In the last video I made of a Mewtwo deck, I played pretty terribly. So hopefully we don't let that happen again. We definitely will, spoiler, but we'll see. So all right, let's get into it, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, let's play some games. All right, let's get into it. Let's try to play some games here with Darkness Mewtwo. Now, a few things that we don't want to hit here in this matchup. ADP is never great. It's not actually that terrible, but of course, like sometimes they do run the Rusted Sword, which of course is tough for us because it kind of puts them in range of KOing our Mewtwo pretty easily. Would we like to go first? Yeah, we typically want to go first with the deck. Other things that could be problematic. E-turn is another thing that's a little bit difficult for us. Mainly just because We're actually going to start with the Hoopa, mainly just because our hand is actually pretty good. E-turn's tough just because we pretty much rely on getting the... we're going to just attach here. Actually, I could have Cherish Balled and attached to Mewtwo, but I think we're safe from getting KO'd next turn anyway. Yeah, so E-turn's tough because they can hit for the 270, so that... Sorry, it pretty much relies on us getting our big charm to stay alive. Looks like we're playing single strike Urshifu VMAX, which is interesting for sure. The fact that he started with Dedenne is actually really good for us. And our hand is pretty good setup. We have a pretty good hand setup. We just hope that he doesn't Marnie us turn 1. That's literally like the only thing that could go bad for us right now. Top decking something would be really nice right now. We are going to be able to evolve into the Hydreigon. We could get a couple energies onto our board as well, but I think that Cherish Ball might be for a Dedenne, unfortunately. But again, that's not actually that bad. We would just be discarding 1 Darkness energy. He's going to get double Houndours on the bench, and hopefully that last card in his hand isn't Marnie. It's research. The greatest thing I've seen all day is him not Marning our hand. But he is getting a pretty decent setup here, realistically. He's got the... he's got the double Houndour on the bench here. We don't really have a great way to spread energy to single prize Pokemon. Although we are hitting weakness for this. So if he's not running the Jirachi-GX, then this matchup could be a bit easier than expected, which would be good. But our other dark Pokemon are going to be weak to fighting. So again, we have to keep that in mind. Not that it really matters. Single strike Urshifu just does a lot of damage nonetheless. We see the Quick Ball come out. He actually discards the boss, which is very interesting for sure. And he's probably going to want to laser focus here. If he does, though, like he's potentially getting KO'd, which would be our best case scenario, right? If he were to do that, I think that we definitely want to try to just move into Mewtwo this turn and get the KO on him. Laser focus is really good, but it's kind of difficult because it puts you in a position where, your single strike Urshifu V is in the active spot, and it's your opponent's second turn, right? So they're going to have the opportunity to KO you pretty consistently. But we'll see if that's actually the game plan that he goes for. We're playing MVP 17-4 or 174. 174, I don't know. He grabs a second Urshifu V. Could be just setting that up here. And we'll see if he leaves that bench space open. Okay, so he doesn't actually. And he leaves the Jirachi in the active spot as well. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead. And we're going to go ahead and Hydreigon there. And now, actually, what I kind of want to do is... So we could Cherish Ball and then Calm. But I don't know if that's actually, like, the best option, right? We could Rogue Ring and stay in the active spot. Maybe that's fine. It doesn't actually sound that great, though, to be 100% honest with you. That could be the best decision, though, right? That could be the best decision for us. Like, we could grab Mewtwo, just put 2 onto it, and Rogue Ring. Maybe we do that. Again, getting damage off on this turn would be really nice, but again, it's not guaranteed, right? So maybe we do that. We could just KO this Dedenne and put 3 energies on this Hoopa, but then we're most definitely probably getting KO next turn. And I think Rogue Ringing might just be our best option. So that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to grab the Mewtwo. We don't have any Pokemon, of course, again, our discard pile yet to utilize its attacks, but we're going to go ahead and start singing up early. And we're just going to hope that he doesn't have like full setup Urshifu and boss next turn, right? That would be very bad for us. I think what we want to grab, to be fair, we have a Calm in hand. Not that that's entirely necessary, but I think that we want to grab... boss is probably going to be really good for next turn. And then I think what I might just grab is like a Pokemon to draw some cards, like a Crobat. Dedenne might be better, but I think Crobat's actually probably better anyway. Okay, so now we just hope that he doesn't have like boss and then full setup Urshifu switch in KO, right? I mean, that would be really bad for us. But that's a lot of cards for him to have, and it's kind of a gamble that I want to take. I think that I'm pretty confident in me being able to survive here. He also did discard a boss earlier last turn, which means he might have had several in his hand, which isn't good to think about. He just attaches the second one there. And now he's going to Calm. So he comes away the Dedenne, actually. And he might just have another draw supporter in hand, to be fair. So he's going to go into 1 Houndour. He's going to single strike Roar, put some energies on to his Urshifu. Yep. Okay. And now I'm probably going to see... Okay, so he did Marnius. Pretty tough, realistically. So maybe the Rogue Ring strategy wasn't as good as I thought. When I Rogue Ring a lot, we typically just get Marnie the turn after. This hand is not bad at all, though, so I'm not too worried. Again, all we're hoping that he doesn't have here is just going to be the boss. in the VMAX. So he's actually just going to impact Blow, which we're kind of fine with that. And we're not actually too worried, realistically at all, to be fair. Yeah, we're going to move the Mewtwo up in the active spot. And there's the air balloon too, which is interesting. We probably want Big Charm. But using this Dark Lance attack is going to be clutch because we're going to KO and then also spray damage to the Dedenne. Might be our best bet here for sure. So we want to discard this, which I think is a bit unfortunate because what we're going to have to do is calm away the Mewtwo and then draw a Dedenne. So that's what we're going to do. A little bit risky, but I think it's actually just our best play all around. We do not see the Jirachi-GX yet, which is interesting for sure. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the E-Retrieval. We're just going to grab 1 energy because we're going to be discarding it anyway. And then we can go ahead, Darkness Squall, put that under the Mewtwo. Now what I actually want to do is attach the Air Balloon because I don't think that the Big Charm really matters. Well, it does to the point where they need 2 fighting energies on. Single strike energy. So I'm actually just going to attach it to Hydreigon in hopes that potentially we just draw into the Big Charm or just, you know, find a way to... Okay, there it is, actually. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. The rest of our Pokemon in our hand aren't very good, realistically. But we are going to just attach the Big Charm here. We can Dark Lance for the KO. We have Boss in hand as well. I don't know, attaching this energy could be good. And I'm... It's such an interesting position. I do probably just want to attach here, although we could attach to Hydreigon. But I think that this is probably just going to be the best bet to put the 4th one onto Mewtwo. Now we can Black Lance is what it's called. So we are doing 150, but we're a Psychic type, so we're hitting for weakness, KOing. And then we get to put 60 onto our onto that bent Dedenne, which would be really good, for sure. Other things we could do, we could Dark Moon GX, and they can't play any trainer cards from their hand next turn. Probably not very good. I think Black Lance is probably going to be our best decision. I'm going to put 60 onto that bench Dedenne, and potentially set up for maybe even a Espeon and Deoxys-GX attack KO. We draw into both of our great draw supporters here, which is pretty good here. So now what he needs, and I don't think he's capable of doing it realistically, is getting 4 energies on this thing and evolving it this turn. And we have Boss in hand, so we're in a pretty good situation. To be 100% honest with you. He attaches the capture down, so he could just be putting down another Houndour. Yep, that's smart. He's not going to be able to evolve into the Houndoom this turn, though. So ultimately, I think that we're pretty safe. Unless we get Marnied, we do have Boss's orders in hand, so we should be able to KO this thing next turn. Or this, yeah, like our next turn. So like I said, he's got the 2 Houndooms out, so he will be able to get 3 energies onto his Urshifu. He can attack us, but again, he's not going to be able to take the KO, which is important. Definitely really important. But what we want to do is set up another Mewtwo on our board, right? That's just something that we need to be able to do because this thing is going to get KO'd, like, eventually, right? Well, actually, maybe we're probably just safe for the most part just because he isn't getting the KO here. But, well, you know, we'll see. We'll see exactly what goes down. It's funny having the Dino, Zuelos, and the Hydreigon in hand. Okay, so we see the Marnie. Not super good. That Boss's Orders is pretty important. We have already... Okay, we still should have 2 more in our deck, so we'll see if we're going to be able to draw into it. But that Boss's Orders would be extremely good. There's the Espeon and Deoxys. This hand is actually pretty good as well. And we can draw plenty of different cards, actually, which is pretty cool. He does evolve the VMAX, so now we're definitely kind of pressed for him to get the to KO this thing next turn. We definitely want Boss. If not, it's not a huge deal. We can still take some prize cards next turn, but we definitely... Okay. It is what it is. We're just going to Boss. He might just scoop, right? I got to assume. Yeah, well played. Well played, my dude. I apologize for that. I know it's tough. It's definitely tough. We're just going to play to our outs. We're going to make the best decisions that we can here, even though he's in a pretty difficult position. 100%, right? But we're going to do it. We are just going to do it. Let's grab the Dedenne. We're going to move through the deck here pretty quickly. Can we find another Mewtwo? Well, we kind of do, right? No energies in this hand, which is interesting. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of play to our outs and do the best things possible to finish out the game. Because, again, there's no guarantee that we win this turn, right? So I guess that's probably just going to be our best option. Let's just discard that Rare Candy, grab another energy here. And let's go ahead and just attach these 3 to our Mewtwo. If we drew into the Aurora there, like we would have, I think, been able to just win anyway off of spreading damage counters. Well, not quite. Almost, though. But now, I think now, again, we're probably just going to go ahead and Dark Pulse should get the KO, right? So I guess we can just Dark Pulse. Black Lance isn't enough. Oh, is it? 40 to 90. Actually, Black Lance is enough to get the KO. So maybe we just do that. So yeah, that's probably going to just be the best option. Because we also get to do the bench damage to the Dedenne. That's kind of the weakness with Urshifu, is the fact that, yes, you know, you do have a really good energy acceleration engine to, you know, to attach the energies. But other than that, definitely a bit of a struggle, right, to maintain a high HP count. So that was the first game. Pretty unfortunate matchup for him. We didn't see the Zoroark-GX, which is almost needed for Single Strike Urshifu to win those matchups. We did top deck that boss, which was pretty sweet, but we had ways to draw some more cards, so I wasn't too worried to finding that boss anyway. We had a pretty decent shot. Next up, we're playing I'm not going to even try to pronounce that name. We won the coin flip. We're playing it probably against E-Turn. We don't want to go first, though, I think. This hand is pretty gross. Definitely pretty gross. We can bench this Espeon Deoxys. Is it better to probably just bench Mew, though? Yeah, I would assume it probably is. It probably is, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and do that. If this is E-Turn, the matchup's not great for us. We do have Big Charm, but realistically, like, they're going to be pretty consistently hitting for 270. Yeah, it looks like E-Turn, personally. We're going to discard this Espeon in Deoxys here. We'll grab the Mewtwo. We're going to put the air balloon on him. We're just going to attach the energy, and we're going to just rock out. Might not have been the best sequencing on our first turn, but again, I think that getting energies on our Mewtwo is going to be really important. The only way that we can really KO E-Turn consistently is to just pile up a lot of energies. He's going to Marnius, actually. Not too terrible. Hopefully we don't draw into a dead hand, but our hand wasn't too great other than the research. Researching away a boss wouldn't have been super ideal here. This hand is a little better, I suppose. Maybe not. E-Turn hammers, and he does get the heads there. So we got to love that. Having energies in our discard pile is actually not that bad for us. Right? Here's the Greninja Zoroark. So since we don't have a way to discard this, I'm actually just going to bench it. Which might not seem like the best decision, but it's actually like just what I want to do, because that attack's going to be good for sure. We have the Dino here as well, which is super cool. Okay, yeah, so it looks like another turn where we're not going to be able to get damage off, which is unfortunate, but next turn we can evolve into the Xylos. Or sorry, the Hydreigon, potentially. But nothing else progressive in our hand, either. We could Dedenne. Is Dedenne really good, though, right now? I think we just wait another turn to see what we draw into. The fact that they missed out on an E-Turn this turn and an attachment's pretty good for us, though, because that kind of buys us a lot more time than typical, than we would typically have, right? So we'll see. Again, maybe this isn't E-Turn. I'm just kind of assuming with the hammers and the Crobat off the bat and the Dark Energy. And we see the Weakness Guard. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this is E-Turn. He actually just KOs the Mew, which I find to be very interesting for sure. Very, very interesting. So I think now we just go into the Mewtwo here. Hopefully, if we top deck a Pokemon, that would be pretty huge. Oh, wow, that's actually really good. Really good for us, that Cherish Ball. So what we're going to do here is we are going to grab the Hydreigon, and we're going to potentially get a KO this turn. That's kind of like our best bet. We're going to try to donk him here and just kind of win the game off of this. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, well, that was unfortunate for our E-Turn opponent for sure. Kind of bricking. E-Turn does seem to do that sometimes, though. When you start with Crobat, nothing else in your hand can be a bit tough. We're going to try to find another one. Try to get one more good game to show you guys and potentially, you know, showcase the deck a little bit more. We're playing against Ma 568. 568? Ma. He's going to choose who goes first or second. He's going to choose to go first. Okay, which is fine. Interesting hand for sure. Very interesting hand. Not very good hand, to be fair. We're just going to put the Mewtwo up, and we're going to pass here. Looks like we're playing Dragapult, which is very bad for us. However, we do have Dark-type Pokemon, so maybe maybe starting with the Mewtwo wasn't the best decision, to be 100% honest. Our hand is real tough, though. Definitely really tough. In this sort of matchup, though, we can just go ahead and use our Dark-type attackers, but, you know, realistically, we're kind of struggling here. We're definitely struggling with this starting hand. Going to be tough here. He's actually just going to go ahead and switch into the Kricketune and draw some extra cards. He gets the Air Balloon onto it as well to get the pivot, which is going to be really nice for him to have consistently throughout the game. Kind of stop him from kind of just dead drawing, right? Let's see what we top deck here. It's a quick ball. That's actually pretty good, for sure. We're going to start just setting up this this boy here, this Umbreon Darkrai. Let's discard the Espeon Deoxys here. And I think that we have to grab Dedenne, unfortunately. We do have 2 rare candies in our hand. It's just not very good, but we definitely need to draw some more stuff. And I think that this is just going to be the best way to do it. We do get the Deino down, which is kind of cool. But leaving this Mewtwo in the active spot is very bad, I think. Very, very bad. I actually am just going to Crobat. Okay, so we get the Viridians. Put that in the active spot. Discarding another E-Retrieval is not good either, to be 100% fair here, but I kind of want to research just because I don't want to leave this Mewtwo in the active spot. Although we are kind of safe, but he probably has Zigzagoon and stuff. It's just not something that I really want to do. We kind of just guaranteed to give him energy there, so I am actually just going to research. It's a little bit risky, but you know, we'll see here. We do get the Hydreigon, which is good, but we do find the Air Balloon, which in my opinion is like extremely important. And now what I actually want to do is Dark Moon GX so they can't play any trainer cards from their hand next turn. That's actually just what I want to do here. We discarded 2 rare candies, which isn't super ideal, right? But I think for the most part, you know, we're in a little bit less of a worse position than we were before. If we top deck like a rare candy, that would be insane. Like that would literally be the most insane thing of all time. We're down to 2 E-Retrievals and 1 energy, so we got to keep that in mind here. He's going to go ahead and Crobat, draw 2. He can't play any trainer cards from his hand this turn, so hopefully we stop him at least from getting too much out here. He does attach the second energy to the Dragapult, which is something to note. There's a Calm. There's a Pokecom, which is interesting. Okay, so I'm actually going to calm away the Deino. And we are going to go ahead and... wow, I should have calmed away the... Yeah, sorry. I thought I had another Crobat in the deck, but we don't. Greninja Dark Pulse is going to be super good. But we already kind of committed with the Black Lance. So I think what we need to do is grab Dedenne. We still have 1 Hydreigon left in our deck. So hopefully, you know, that's something that we're going to be able to get into, right? But we're kind of skimping through our deck and running out of a lot of resources. Which isn't necessarily very ideal here. We can get the Big Charm on, which could be really good. But our hand is a little bit dead, unfortunately. So I'm actually just going to put the Big Charm on here. Nothing we can do except retreat, so we're going to have to wait a turn before we start attacking here. I think ultimately, though, we're in kind of the advantage spot just because we have some Dark-type Pokemon, and this one's got 300 HP now. We see the XP share come out. And now the Evo Incense, so he's going to be able to go into his Dragon Ball VMAX and start spreading some damage counters. If he has Zigzagoon as well, he can KO our Deino, which is not good. If he has Boss, then he could get some damage counter off on our Mewtwo. If he has both, then he can KO the Mewtwo. So we definitely want to keep that in mind for sure. But this Umbreon Darkrai should be staying around for a while. He's got to hit us 3 times before he KOs us. So ultimately, I think that we're at an advantage when it comes to that. He's going to be able to, again, pop his Kricketune, draw some cards. And, you know, we'll draw 2 cards at least. Okay, so we see the Quick Ball here. Could this be another Crobat? Okay, so it's the Goon, yeah. So he's just going to go ahead and prioritize KOing the Deino, which I think is probably the best decision on his part. I'll be 100% fair. Because now he actually gets to draw 4 with Exciting Stage, which is really good. The Kricketune early game that he got was extremely good here. That Crushing Hammers is going to be massive, too. Good thing it's a miss. That would be terrible for us. And the Power Plant comes out, which is also really bad, but we're not actually going to be using this Mewtwo. It was unfortunate that we started with it, but you know what? Not much else that we can do. He is going to KO the Deino, but that actually will give us room to, you know, to draw some more cards. Or not draw some more cards, but put down this Greninja and Zoroark, which could be extremely good here for sure. So I'm actually just going to do that. We're going to put that down here, and I'm going to attach to the Umbreon and Darkrai. And now we're just going to go ahead and Black Lance. It's not getting the KO, unfortunately, but at least it's doing something. You know, we're living this turn, right, from another attack, and, you know, and he's not, so I guess that's sort of the big advantage here. He's going to ping the Mewtwo, so if he has Boss in here, he's going to take 3 prize cards. Again, not very ideal. He definitely could have Boss or a way to draw into it at least, which, again, is not something that we really want. He's actually just going to switch into the Cricketune and draw 4. Again, very good. One of the best pivots in the game right now. The ability to draw these cards consistently makes this card extremely, extremely good. Hopefully he didn't draw into boss there. Although I am assuming he did just because, yeah, just because it'd be like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I think that if we lose this game, I think the main reason is just because we did, of course, start with that Mewtwo, which is always very, very unfortunate for sure. Always very unfortunate. Now, we can live another attack here just because we do have the Big Charm on. We KO this Dragapult and put ourselves in a position to potentially KO with a Dark Pulse next turn, right? So that's going to be our best option here. We're going to Black Lance. Him KOing our Dino was also unfortunate. But again, nothing else that we could really do there. He has the XP share. He's going to be able to move on to here. I don't know exactly how much energy we need to KO the Dragapult. I think we just need 5. Right? Because 5 we're doing, it's 30 plus, yeah. So unless he, I don't know how he wins, to be honest with you. He can't really go into Dragapult here because it'll evolve and go into Dragapult, right? Technically, we have 140 HP left, and we also resist Psychic. So I don't, unless he can double Goon Ping and then switch into Dragapult V and attack with that. That's his only win condition right now, which is definitely possible, right? He can definitely do that. He actually has a second Goon, so I don't know if he actually just saw his win con there. He could have done it pretty easily. How many scoop up nets is he down? He's down 2. I mean, that would have been a very doable win condition for him. So maybe he still goes for it. Who knows? Or maybe he goes into the Dragapult and lets us win the game. Although we don't really have a way to draw cards in our hand, too. We got to keep that in mind, right? So unfortunately, if we don't find a way to switch out, we're not going to be able to get the KO, right? Because we can't afford to free retreat and discard that energy. And actually, we can't switch out because we don't run switch in the deck. We just run air balloons, which is very bad. But again, I think attaching the Big Charm was going to be pretty necessary in the long run. Because if not, he would have been able to get the KO. We got to be careful too, though, because if we attack this Dragapult with Umbreon and Darkrai, it will do enough to KO us. But this is actually his game plan. If he has a Scoop Up Net in hand, that's going to be it. He's actually just going to be able to Exciting Stage, which is totally fine. I got to bet that he probably has a way to draw into the Scoop Up Net. There it is. So that's unfortunate for us, for sure. Him drawing into that boss was unfortunate. Us starting with Mewtwo was obviously very unfortunate. But definitely going to be a good game. He's going to Marnius, even though he has the win con. Oh, and actually he evolved, so he doesn't actually have the win condition, which is very interesting for sure. But it is what it is. You know, who knows? He gets tails on the hammers, though, which is always good, right? I suppose. But no, I think either way, like, there's just nothing that we can really do here to win this game. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to spread the damage counters off. And even if he doesn't leave us with a KO, he just needs like one Goon Ping or like one more attack with Dragapult to get the KO here. So, you know, not much else that we can really do, unfortunately. But you know what? I think that we still have a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to Greninja. He doesn't have any GXs on his bench, which is pretty unfortunate. I'm actually just going to go ahead and boss up this Zigzagoon. And we're going to retreat into Greninja. I guess we can pop a Cherish Ball here. We don't have anything to draw more cards, which is tough. So I'm just going to grab this Hoopa, because it potentially can one-shot. It would have been nice to have this earlier in the game, for sure. But now if I look through here, he's down 3 Switch, 3 Scoop Up Nets. I don't know how many energies he has, but I think that this is just going to be our best option. So unfortunately, that's just what we're going to do here. We're going to hope that maybe he passes. But again, all he has to do is just find a way to switch into Dragapult, and there it is. And that's going to be the game. So, you know, big shout out to Ma here. It was unfortunate for us that we started with Mewtwo and that he found boss. That was the main reason why we lost there. Nothing else that we could really do, unfortunately. But you know what? Dragapult is a very good list. And, you know, Mewtwo is weak to Dragapult. It's nothing we could really do there. But that's going to be the game. That's going to be the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. The gameplay probably wasn't anything like too fantastic, 100% honest with you. But hopefully it got a showcase of what this Darkness Mewtwo deck is all about. It's honestly, in my opinion, a really fun deck. It's a deck that can do really well. We saw Shun Ito, of course, get you know, top 8 at a massive 450-player tournament with this list, which is definitely really impressive. So, you know, big shout out to him. He's obviously a fantastic player, better than I am, most likely, for sure. But this is a really fun list, and I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. So I highly suggest that you check it out. If you have the cards, definitely try to play it. Definitely super fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Shout out to the channel members. First of all, don't forget to register for Chill Series number 27 this Wednesday. Absolutely fantastic tournament that's coming up. Our 27th Chill Series. We actually have a bunch of community donations from community members who are donating to the prize pool. So right now, we're actually slotted for over 200 Battle Styles packs in the prize pool and free entry just based off of donations. So it really means a lot to me that you guys are supporting the tournament series, not only the channel. So thank you guys so much for that. Link to register will be down in the description below. Shout out to Card Cavern Trending Cards. Use code ChillTCG for 5% off your entire order. And don't forget to like the video, click subscribe. It means a lot to me. Comment below what you think of the deck list. I'm going to get out of here, guys. It's been good. I've had a good time. Yeah, peace out.